Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Happy Sunday, wherever you are. Do a sound check here. Can you all hear me? I see G.H. Forn, the Pink Bird, Gene Joan Messina, Russell's in the house. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Righteous Late Night. Good to see you guys. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. A.V. Schultz, what's up? Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. The Pink Bird. All right, let me lead off with the kicker. We got a very special guest rejoining us tonight on Righteous Late Night, the great and powerful Ron Perlman. I'll get to him in a second. What's up, Hazard Ground Podcast? The sign is backwards. Actually, the sign is not backwards. The sign is forwards. This Instagram shit is backwards. So let me fix that, but thank you. It should say, this is the whole Instagram thing. One of you guys got to help me out here. But it should say Ron for president. It says it backward to you, right? All right. I got to figure that out another time. But Ron Perlman, the great and powerful Ron Perlman, will join us in just a minute. If it's your first time here, welcome to Righteous Late Night. What's up, Tiger? What's up, CS Lomo 83? What's up, Ferg? Good to see you guys. Party Marty 84. Dara Adams. The Pink Bird's still here. I know. I'll put the letters on backwards next time. Thanks, guys. I'll work on that. All right. If you're new here, here's the deal. We talk about a lot of stuff. Yes, it's a Camaro. More on that in a second. We talk news. We talk politics. We talk culture. We talk cars. We talk whiskey. We talk books. We take your questions. We talk activism. We talk about what's going on in the pandemic. I've also started to think about a new concept, hacking the pandemic. We're all facing it. We're all dealing with it. But we're all coming up with clues, tips, tricks on how to live better in the pandemic. So I'm going to ask you tonight, we're going to do a segment about hacking the pandemic. I want to know, what's your hack? Give me something that's helped you get through the pandemic, that helps other people get through the pandemic. In particular, I want to know if you got any tips on putting kids to sleep. Like, I mean, not permanently, but like at night. I got two little ones, 4 and 1. If you're new here, you'll hear more about them. But I just got them to bed at 10 o'clock. Lauren is still like making sure they're in bed. And I was like, shit, I got to go live at 10:30. And she's like, go, go, go. And the baby's like looking right at me with the pacifier. But no, Ferg, I can't give my 4-year-old weed. Although I thought about it. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about what is your pandemic hack. We're going to talk to Ron Perlman in a second. We're going to play some tunes. If you're new here, we have a drink. Mara Smith, I see you in Rhode Island. Welcome, welcome. Melatonin gummies for the kids. All right. JoJo's in the house. But we're going to have a drink. I'm going to recommend a book. We're going to play some tunes. I'm going to recap a couple things off the top of my head in the news. We will share some resources. We'll take your questions. So if you got questions for the great and powerful Ron Perlman, cue them up. Maybe you're a Sons of Anarchy fan. Maybe you are a Hellboy fan. Maybe you're a Beauty and the Beast fan from back in the day. But if you're a fan of America, if you're a fan of good shit, if you're a fan of wisdom and fire and entertainment, the great and powerful Ron Perlman is going to be joining us in a couple of seconds. Quick tip on my latest episode of Angry Americans. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It dropped on Thursday with the great and powerful Baratunde Thurston. He's a comedian. He's an activist. He's a writer. He's written for The Daily Show. He's written for The Onion. And his book is called How to Be Black. So we got into how to be black in the pandemic. We've been talking about issues that are unreported, underreported in the pandemic. So we talked about how the military overseas was dealing with the pandemic. Then I talked to ER Dr. Paul Hazer, who is on the front lines. Then I talked to Team Rubicon's Jake Wood. Then I talked to Anya Kamenetz about teachers and how teachers in the education system has been hit. Then on Mother's Day, we talked to Kristen Rowe-Finkbeiner about moms and how moms are uniquely impacted by COVID-19. And this week, I talked to Baratunde Thurston about how people of color and black people in particular are disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. They're dying, they're sick, they're on the front lines as first responders and service workers and so many other areas. So it's a really important episode. If somebody wants to do me a solid, Ferg, I'm talking to you. Post a link down here, angryamericans.us. Next time I'll figure out how to pin shit. And you can check out the new episode with Baratunde Thurston. He's really fantastic, entertaining guy, wise guy. He's got a fantastic TED Talk with over 2 million views. But check that out. Book recommendation of the night. Here it is. If you're new here, book recommendation of the night. And I'll tell you the truth, I've been reading a lot of fucking kids' books. And I did a kids' book, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, I just finished, but it's digital, so I can't show that. So tonight's book of the day, the great Ron Perlman is joining us. We're coming to you in a minute, Ron. Appreciate it. I see all your friends are coming over now. The book recommendation of the night. It's a kid's book, but maybe you need a break. Maybe you should read more kids' books. Harry and the Lady Next Door. Harry and the Lady Next Door. It's a book about tolerance. It's a book about art. It's a book about patience. It's a book about community. It's a book about trusting people. But Harry and the Lady Next Door, highly recommended. I like all the Harry books. My son loves it. It's by Jean Zion. Pictures by Margaret Bloy Graham. All right? That's the book tonight. If you're just joining us, Harry and the Lady Next Door. The guest is Ron Perlman coming up. The drink of the night, I am at an undisclosed location. If you don't know where I am, good. You shouldn't. I'm drinking Citizen Cider because the warm weather's coming. I love a good cider. I had barbecue for dinner tonight, and cider goes damn good with barbecue. And it goes damn good with burger and fries and a lot of other shit. But if you're not into ciders, I recommend you check it out. This stuff's made in Vermont. It's really great. They have a dry version and a sweet version. This is the sweeter version. But check out Citizen Cider. Seems like the perfect drink for a weekend where shit's all kinds of upside down. Citizenship is expressing itself in many different ways. America is opening, for better or worse, probably for worse. People are out. The sun is out. Shit's getting real. Most of the states are reopening. And that's the deal. So I'm going to do a toast, but I'm going to first do our toast. And then we'll do a toast with Ron when he joins us. I see Tom Bowman from NPR is joining us. What's up, Tom? Welcome to Righteous Late Night. We do a toast every night, and we'll do another one when Ron gets here. But before we do, always thinking about the folks who have passed, always thinking about the folks that are on the front lines right now. So many nurses, cops, firefighters, first responders of all kind that are out there right now in hospitals, going to calls, helping people out. Even folks delivering food and manning the front lines in other ways. We just want to raise a glass to everybody as a community. So if you got a glass, pull it out, and we will welcome Ron in a second. I know you're on bated breath, but raise a glass or a cup or a can, and we do it like this. To the fallen, to the heroes, and to the future. Cheers, y'all, wherever you are. All right, if you're just joining us, my name is Paul Rieckhoff. We're going to talk to Ron Perlman in just a second. He wants to know, how do I request? I don't know, Ron. There you go. You just figured it out. All right, Ron's ready. You're ready. Ron, you're getting a song. And here's your song, Ron. Wait for it.
We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
All right. Let's bring in the man himself. Great and powerful one. The man of wisdom and fury and fire. Come on, Ron. Where are you, Ron? I hit the button. You should be coming. You should be coming. You should be coming. Where's Ron? Where's Ron? Come on. We're going to keep playing Living Color. Try requesting again, Ron. You might have to request again. You can absorb more of the Living Color in the meantime, folks. Come on, Ron. In the meantime, tell me your favorite Ron Perlman performance, people. Tell me your favorite Ron Perlman performance while I try to get him in. Try requesting video again, Ron. You and I are both trying to figure out this technology shit. Party Marty wants a shout out. I just gave you a shout out, Party Marty. I'll try to get Ron to give you a shout out if I can patch him in. I saw the request earlier on the top of the screen. Instagram's got to make this shit more friendly. All right, let's try this again. Ron Perlman's joined. All right, man. Try to hit me up again. You got, okay, I have a request button and I lost it. See, this is going to be entertaining. Because when he finally comes in, you're going to hear what was happening off screen as the great and powerful Ron Perlman, with his massive meat hook fingers, was trying to hit on the Instagram. We're hearing about people. Ron Perlman, Thomas Mann. My favorite Ron performance is him trying to figure out Instagram. We already got the peanut gallery rocking here. Close the app and open it again is what somebody's saying, Ron. Try that. Try that. In the meantime, tell me your pandemic hacks. Your pandemic. There he is. All right. Let's try it again, folks. And Gandhi. Oh. Oh. It said Ron Perlman is unable to join me. I'll try it again. Someone said click on his name. I know this is painful, people. All right. Go live with Perlmutations. Let's see. I requested to you, Ron. Let's see if that works. Nobel Prize. I clicked on his name, Party Marty. Thank you for that. We're waiting for Ron. In the meantime, I want to hear your pandemic hacks. I want your suggestions on the name for my 69 Camaro SS, which does still not have a name. Ron may be having shitty Wi-Fi. Or, here's the possibility. Ron may have been kicked off Instagram. He's been kicked off Twitter. He told us that story last time. But your kids are going to wake up before Ron gets on. Relax there, Hazard Ground Podcast. Relax, relax. Staying home and staying safe is your podcast, is your pandemic hack. It's kind of weak. The Tiganis, welcome. All right, Ron's back. Let's try this again. We'll try it again. I'll try it again. I'll try it again. I'm trying to go live with you, Ron. Waiting for Perlmutations. Here it is. Here it is. There he is, people. Here comes the guitar solo. See? You were waiting for the guitar solo for dramatic effect.
I'm sweating.
Why are you sweating?
I broke out in a sweat trying to request.
Why?
I lost my cool, man.
You never lose your cool, man.
I know. Instagram.
Ah,
It brought me
Instagram, this
down.
motherfucker. Instagram's not very user friendly. It's hard to do Instagram and interact with Instagram. It's not friendly, man.
I was on with you last week. It was like a walk in the park, man. It was a piece of cake. It lulled me into a false sense of security. Like, I got this. Now I'm sweating. Can
You don't look like.
bring me a Kleenex?
What do you? Well, how many
I forgot.
drinks
I
did you?
gave my staff the night off. It's Sunday, you know.
How many drinks did you have before you requested last time versus today?
Both. This is my first cocktail of the day.
Okay.
I would have started sooner, but I knew I was going to join you, and I wanted to be fresh as a daisy.
Fresh as a daisy. All right. So, what is your cocktail of choice tonight, my friend?
This is the one thing vegan that I do.
Tito's.
I just drink. No, I just drink straight tequila, agave, baby.
Do you have a brand of choice, Ron?
Look how good I look.
You look.
It's working, right?
You look very fucking relaxed.
Yeah. So why do I have the meat sweats? But anyway, here's to you, Paul, baby.
Salute. I want to ask everybody, raise a glass with me and Ron. Happy Sunday. You got through another week. We're starting another one. You got any other great toasts for us, man? You got to be working on one since last time.
Me?
Yeah, you. No, the other guy I'm talking to on Instagram. Yeah, you.
You would be talking to other guys, but nobody knows how to request. The request button doesn't work.
It's hard. It's hard.
Do I have any toasts?
Yeah. Or from
no.
a character in any of the parts you've ever played. Did any of the characters ever have to make a toast?
May you live to be 100, and may the last voice you hear be mine. Ooh. That's not my toast, but I steal all the best shit.
Salute. Salute. All right, welcome to.
And I wanted a toast.
Yes.
While I was busy trying to get on here, you know, and you were toasting the fallen and the people who serve and who sacrifice. You know, sacrifice to me is the most profound of all human instincts. And the reason why, the first time I ever saw you on TV, and I said, I got to meet this guy, and somehow, the gods put us together. I don't know how it all ended up going down, but, it was you shortly after you had established Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. And I just listened to you and was just moved to by the need to, like, here's to you, Paul.
Oh, salute.
You embody sacrifice, self-sacrifice.
Well,
and to me, there's no more
needed...
sophisticated, there's no more nuanced, there's no more sublime human thing that separates us from things that crawl. Most of whom are working at the White House right now.
Hold that. We'll come back to that. I think you speaking of sacrifice, I think you also need extra security at the time. And so I fit that bill as well. And
who had I pissed off at that point?
First time I ever met you, I think, was when you walked into the IABA office. And we did an Instagram, we did like a Facebook Live in the IABA office. We had a whole shitload of vets around. You came in, the whole place stopped. We had this office in New York City, and everybody was psyched to see you. You came in. I remember this. You came in. It was the first time we actually met in person, and you did a Facebook Live. You gave a shout out to troops and vets and everybody. And this is. I'm not going to be specific, but you gave me a check. We were a nonprofit. We're a small nonprofit, busting our ass trying to help vets. And a lot of folks have come through who are high profile, who came and did Facebook Live and did the high fives and left. And frankly, a lot of people with a lot more money than you. And you dropped a check and you said, I want to support the cause. And that was real, man. And I really appreciated that. And your commitment's been significant ever since. And I think sacrifice is key, man. I think sacrifice is what leadership is really all about. People think leadership is sometimes about getting your name in the paper or the fancy office or the big salary. Most often good leadership, right, is about sacrifice. But I got to ask you this. I got a couple questions I want to rattle off, and welcome to all Ron Perlman's fans around the country and around the world. If you got questions on the bottom, I want to ask you, because we haven't talked about this, there have been a smattering of third-party candidates dabbling, flirting, with jumping in. Most recently, Justin Amash, but there was another one who's still been kind of throwing out some breadcrumbs. He does this all the time. The infamous Jesse the Body Ventura, former governor of Minnesota. Do you know Jesse Ventura? Do you have thoughts on his candidacy? Have you ever worked with Jesse Ventura?
None of the above. I have chronicled his hair loss over the years. That's about all I know about Jesse. It's one of those. I mean, anybody who sort of bursts onto the scene and has those really vivid, vibrant colors that people respond to, like that charisma gear.
Yes.
Not everybody has the charisma gear. Jesse definitely has the charisma.
That's true.
Gear. And when he first burst on the scene, he was speaking a lot of truth to power, and he was making a lot of sense, and seemed like a pretty smart guy. Seemed like his heart was in the right place. I'm not sure what happened to him, but
it got crazy. I met Jesse Ventura in a truck stop in Minnesota because he was an initial board member back before we were Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. We would call Operation Truth, and we were really focused on being independent. And we were like, who's the only independent political person out there? And this was before he kind of jumped the shark. And he was a Navy SEAL. A lot of people may or may not remember that he was a Navy SEAL. He was very active in the military community.
That attracted me.
And he was governor. I'm looking back at it now. He was governor from 99 to 2003. We started IABA in 2004. So that was kind of like his high. He totally upset the system. Nobody thought he was going to win. Independent race. This was before we had a celebrity president, right? But he was a celebrity candidate. It was before Al Franken. It was before a lot of these other celebrity candidates hit. And he made this transition, and he blew the political establishment apart at the time. It was groundbreaking, man. But he showed up at a truck stop in a Harley, came in the back door, and had a 357 in a fanny pack. He said, I said, you have a gun there? And he said, yeah, I got a fucking gun. He said, a lot of people are trying to kill me. Anyway, that's my so no endorsement from Ron Perlman.
For Jesse?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think about Justin Amash, the congressman from Michigan, the independent, so-called independent, who was thinking about running as a libertarian? Does he do anything for you?
I'm not, I kind of peripherally happen to, be like watching a lot of news at that juncture where he jumped the Republican Party and became, did he actually become a Democrat, or did he just?
He said he left the Republican Party, and now he says he's dropped out. Like a couple of days ago, he said he dropped out. He said he was coming in, got shitloads of negative response. He got like the Howard Schultz syndrome. Like he thought it was a great idea because everybody he paid told him it was a good idea. He didn't actually bother to check with any normal people. And then when he launched it, he got punched in the face by the negative reaction.
It's a funny thing, man. Anybody who has the temerity at this point to call out, what they're seeing, in the devolution of the grand old party, immediately gets your attention.
Yeah.
And then you feel compelled to start listening to their message. And when Justin first started spewing like what it was about this party that he had devoted himself to and formed all of his ideals around, and expressed all this disappointment in what it had become and what it represents and who they've allowed to co-opt it. I had a lot of sympathy for the guy. I have he's fallen off my radar. Just probably because I'm not reading the right stuff, or I'm not following.
He wasn't on anybody's radar. That's part of why I think he said, "Fuck it, I'm going to announce him." If you want to get some news, you announce you're running for president. You get a couple of days in the news. There's no downside to announcing it, right? Like your star goes up a little bit. Maybe you can get some more speaking fees. But overall, it's very limited downside. Even if you fizzle, even if you flame out, you can always say you ran for president, even if nobody voted for you, right? So there's like very little downside for him to do it.
It really helped that guy from that pizza guy, the 999 guy.
The Papa John's guy?
No, the Godfather Pizza. What was his name?
Oh, Herman Cain.
Yeah, it really helps him.
Yeah, Herman Cain.
He's all over my radar these days. Whatever happened to that dude?
Hey, he's fucking terrible. I don't know. Let's come back to that. I wanted to. Hey, Dan Brooklyn is a guy who's a 9/11 first responder, and he wrote a note that I want to call. He said, "You're a good man. You continue to support IVA and veterans. You walked the parade with us. Patiently took photos with all. You walked the Veterans Day parade one time, didn't you?"
Yeah, a couple of years ago. I had a great time that day.
Yeah, man.
You were because it was Veterans Day. You had done like 5. You did all of the talk shows, because
I was fucking exhausted.
And then you kind of met us somewhere in the mid 40s, like 40. Yeah. The parade ended at 57th Street. Yeah. And we walked the rest of the way together. I remember I had a great time that day watching you interact with your people, watching them welcome me in. It was my first time, other than that moment that I spent with you at the office, where I really, really got to interact with, the salt of the earth. I mean, these guys, they walk the walk, and that's the most authentic thing you can do is like. And so when I was in the presence of that kind of greatness that day, that's a day that I will never forget. That was a beautiful, special day. And thank you for arranging it.
Thank you, man. It gave people a big boost. And it's a long day. It's a cold day. It's a hurry up and wait day. It's always supposed to start at 11:11, and it usually doesn't start until like 2 or 3 o'clock. And it's a lot of standing around, but you gave everybody a really big boost. And I know everybody appreciates it. And I know a lot of folks in the first responder, cops, firefighters, vets, they all love the shit out of you for good reason. Hey, I got to ask you a question. Folks, if folks want to fire away with questions, maybe I can pump a couple in for Ron if that's cool. Yo, I've been asking people, Ron, what are their pandemic hacks? Is there anything you figured out during the pandemic where you're like, shit, this helps me live better in the pandemic?
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot, but
no. I look, it's like any event that forces you to strip away as many of the distractions that get us through the normal day as something like this does can be an incredible opportunity for self-awareness, to grow, I mean, there are no distractions. You can sit there and watch TV all day. You can watch Netflix all day, you can do all that. But there's for me, I feel like this is an opportunity to not measure myself or my ideas or any of the things that form my sort of what drives me around external things, around like, oh yeah, I'm doing a movie, or yeah, I gotta be on set next week. Here's my schedule, and yeah, I gotta have this. No, it's all been stripped away, and
right.
It's you and the night and the music. And
right.
if you're smart, you will understand that this is an opportunity to push a reset button that can really make you come out of this thing so much bigger, so much more self-aware, so much more able to be nourished by things that are not meaningless, like the normal things that nourish you during the course of the day. Mostly are distractions. Mostly are like things that take you outside of like having to listen to your own inmost thoughts, having to confront your own inmost like, oh shit, now what do I do? Having to confront your own limitations of like, what do I bring to the party when there's nothing at the party but me? And it's a phenomenal opportunity. I'm having personally a really, really good time now. In the act of pushing the reset button, of understanding that like the world has been forced to back the fuck up for a second. The fish are swimming in the canals in Venice. I mean, the fog, the smog has lifted in the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's true.
There haven't been any school shootings because there's no school. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going down.
Yeah.
That is kind of like, if we can mirror the cleansing breath that the earth is getting to take by the lack of being assaulted with industry and pollution and everything like that, if we can mirror that in our kind of a spiritual way, then this pandemic thing, as tragic as it is, with all of the people who are really, really like teetering, some of them, 90,000 already have lost their lives.
Yep.
Some of them, didn't have anything going into this thing, and then there was no, there was no backup for there was no cushion for them to coast on, and so that part of it is tragic, and horrible, but there's a way to, if we're forced into a situation like this, I have to believe it's our obligation, all of us, to find a way to come out of this thing purer and stronger and clearer, and use it as an opportunity to really count our blessings and figure out what's important, what the fuck is important, and what is complete, pure, distracting bullshit. And so,
I like that.
I
gotta give you I'm gonna give you a song. You gotta catch your breath after that. So
I gotta anesthetize myself.
Yo, look, I think you're touching on something important. I think you're touching on something important. Like the pandemic is revealing. It reveals you, right? It's like combat. It reveals you. I think Michelle Obama said like the presidency reveals who you really are, right? So like the pandemic pulls it out, especially leaders, right? You look at a leader like, I don't know, you could say Cuomo in New York or de Blasio in New York, right? Like two leaders in New York, they got revealed, right? In my view, Cuomo's risen to the moment. He's been strong. He's been focused. He's been clear. And I think de Blasio's been a catastrophe. I think he's been a disaster. I think he's been weak. But I think whether it's in the State House, in the City Hall, or in your family, right? Like you reveal, people get revealed. I remember when I deployed to Iraq, like I found out who my friends were. I found out who gave a shit enough to write me a letter or to check on my mom. And so I think there is an essence right now, and I'm all about trying to find the positive in any situation and making the most of it. And I think you're right about that. I think it reveals people. I got to stop because you got a lot of fans all over the world. All right, I don't know who Party Marty is, but Party Marty wants a shout out. Unless he's a stalker, can you give Party Marty a shout out in Canada?
Party Marty, you still at large, motherfucker?
I saw people checking in from Chile. I saw people checking in from the Middle East.
Party Marty, did you not help me fill out my unemployment forms 27 years ago in New York? Oh, that wasn't you? Anyway, shout out to Party Marty, brother. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
You have very dedicated fans around the world, man. You have very dedicated fans around the world. I want to give one shout out, a couple shout outs to a couple organizations because I know I got a couple new followers that are coming over with Ron. The Ray Pfeiffer Foundation, okay, supports 9/11 first responders in New York and the tri-state area around the country. If you don't know, 9/11 first responders are uniquely at risk. Cops, firefighters in New York and other places have been dying. So check out the Ray Pfeiffer Foundation. Dan Brooklyn. I know you can post a link down here. A couple other organizations I've been telling people to check out. Team Rubicon is a group of veterans and civilians that are running in to disaster relief to help people out. Check them out. I interviewed Jeffrey Wright a couple weeks ago. He has a great organization called Brooklyn for Life. And now there's offshoots. There's another one called Essential Ohio. A guy named Jim Pfeiffer listens to my show and started like a sister organization in Ohio called Essential Ohio. Those are a couple I just want to shout out. If folks want a way to take action, they want a way to get involved, you don't want to just bitch or scream or yell at the TV, check out those nonprofits. And if you need resources, most of them have resources as well. So check them out. Ron, let me ask you this. California, like many other places, is slowly starting to open up. What are you thinking, man, for the next couple of weeks? Are you going to get out? You're going to hunker down? What's your game plan here, man?
I mean, you can feel that there's even among the most vigilant of us that this seems to be kind of psychological relaxing. I think watching New York, hit the plateau and started watching the curve go down, kind of sent a signal to everybody's, whether they understand it or not, or whether it's blatant or not, a sort of a subtle signal that, okay, maybe we're on the other, beginning to be on the other side of this. I played my first round of golf the other day, personally.
First round ever or first round since the pandemic?
It looked like it was the first round ever. But
did you play a lot of golf growing up in New York? Where the fuck did you play in New York? The oldest public course in America is in the Bronx?
Van Cortlandt Park?
Yeah, that's the oldest public golf course in America is in the Bronx.
The very first golf course I ever set foot on was Van Cortlandt. I went to Lehman College, so
yeah,
that's like half a mile away from Van Cortlandt. Van Cortlandt Park was my stomping ground.
That's a weird fucking thing, getting on a subway with golf clubs.
Yeah, that's true. When I first got on the subway and golf, and I had my golf clubs, I think it was 15 cents, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, I feel as though, no, to get back to what you were asking,
Yeah.
I'm still, quarantining, happily, making that really, really work for myself and enjoying. I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones. I got gigs to go back to when it's all over with, and so I'm enjoying this. But I kind of feel as though we're going to start dealing with the reopening of things, and hopefully we're doing it in a way that will be humble and smart and never ever take for granted what we have all been put through, to the point where we may have to go back and do it again for a second time.
Yeah, I hope you're right about being humble and smart, but with the national leadership we've got right now, it's a clusterfuck, and it's so disorganized, and there's so much convoluted and conflicting guidance. I started the show. I said I went and picked up some barbecue today, and I went in the barbecue place, and I'm the only guy in there. And I asked the woman who runs the place, she's just trying to hang on with this fucking business. And I said, what are you guys going to do? When are you going to reopen? She goes, we have no idea. We don't know. We don't know if it's going to be 25% open, 50% open. We don't know when it's going to be open. And what I'm concerned about is when the reopening happens, it's going to be so inconsistent. And Trump, as commander-in-chief, hasn't been clear on anything. He's been contradicting himself by the minute. So that's going to cascade down across the states. And maybe we have this nice spring fling and we have a summer of fun. But if that fall comes in hard and we have the winter of hell that some of the experts have been predicting, if we're not smart, then we're going to need a lot of episodes of Sons of Anarchy, man. We're going to need.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, because I want to give you the floor every time you join me on Righteous Late Night. Welcome to everybody who's a Ron Perlman fan. Check out my podcast, Angry Americans. Check out episode 4? I think one of the first 5 episodes. Ron and I go deep and far on a lot of shit, so go check that out. But I want to give you the floor every time. Trump, the latest, go.
We are.
I'll make it easy for you, man. Go.
Where do you even begin?
Wherever you want.
It's like, have you ever driven by an 8-car pile up on a freeway and there's blood? As you're driving up, you see there's blood and glass, and God knows what the fuck am I gonna run into in the next 30 feet, and then all of a sudden, sure enough, you see bodies. That's this administration. We are witnessing the ugliest, most evil, most dark side of the human condition in that one family, as you can't even imagine. I mean, with every passing day, what he is blatantly doing to all of the beautiful things that make life worth living: trust, loyalty, patriotism, the rule of law, order, all of the precepts of the golden rule, compassion, empathy, sympathy, generosity, decency, brotherhood. He has decimated all of those simple, beautiful things that are the things that, you can't legislate. You can't see, smell, touch, or feel. They're just the things that make life worth living. And when America is at its best, those are the things that are leading our every move and our every effort. And here we have a situation where all of those things are required in this horrific virus that's testing everybody's limits financially. Those people on the front lines, those doctors and nurses who have been asked to go to work, and some of them have given their own lives because they just are too close to the chaos.
Yep.
And, you know, if there was ever a time, I've never, you know, I mean, to say that this is an unprecedented event in the history of this country would be an understatement. There's never been anything like this.
Yep.
So the playbook for this is America at its finest, full stop. And here we are at America at its most fucked up. We are dealing with a motherfucker who is figuring out a way for him and his friends to financially benefit from all of the things I just listed that this thing is doing to this,
Yep.
to the, to the heartbeat, the sinew of this country. Financially benefit and maintain power so that they can financially benefit some more and some more. And the fucked up thing is, Paul, if you gave this guy every single motherfucking dollar on this planet and gave him every single thing you could possibly give a human being, he would still be a miserable fucking cunt. Can I say that on the air?
You can say whatever you want. It's still America.
Because he has a hole in his soul that it can never be filled. He has no country. He has no city. He hates New York now, the fucking place that brought him up.
Yeah.
Because they're blue. They're part of a blue state.
Yeah.
He has no loyalty.
I think that's right.
He has no soul.
But here's the thing, man.
And all of the beautiful institutions that this country, is represented by that define us, that make us as beautiful as we are. Our intelligence system, our scientists, our people who could be working in private industry, who are working for fucking government wages, who go to work every day because they believe in this place. He's decimated all of them. They have zero value because he can't profit from any of them. And those people who I just listed, who are liable to find out the sick, twisted shit he's doing, he fires and destroys their lives. Great Americans. And when I called you last week and said, dude, I'm fucking done, and I for some strange reason, I had an instinct to reach out to you, of all people. You're the only one I said, I'm done. I'm done with Twitter. I'm done ranting and raving. I'm done. It was because William Barr was going to let Mike Flynn walk. Mike Flynn, right, working for a fucking enemy combatant.
Right.
As our national security guy. The wolf guarding the hen house.
Yep.
And Bill Barr is going to let this motherfucker walk. And I just called you up and I said, I'm done. I can't. I'm no match for this shit. This is so diabolical.
You can't back it up. But they want. They want to wear you down.
Assault.
They want to wear you down. They want you to tap out, and they're happy to have some other, lackey take your spot, man. And that's what I told you. Is like, we need you in this fight. We especially need you, because if the goal is to reclaim our democracy and take Trump down and try to rebuild, we need every voice in the fight, and especially voices like yours that appeal to people who aren't tracking on politics or maybe jump balls politically or independent-minded. My show is a lot about talking to people who are independent, who are unaffiliated, who don't have a political party. That's the kind of person you talk to often and listens to you. So you're uniquely effective, man. I did a whole podcast series where I talked about some of the unique voices that were getting rolled out that could be effective, like when Mike Bloomberg pushed out Judge Judy. And people were like, oh, Judge Judy, who the fuck cares? Judge Judy's fucking effective. And Judge Judy gets ratings, and Judge Judy moves people, and Judge Judy gets attention. And if she can get 0.5% in a swing state, Great. We'll take it. You get 3 or 4 Judge Judys, and maybe it tips the scale in Florida or it moves the needle in Pennsylvania, right? So I think your voice, especially people who are outside of politics, are uniquely important, are uniquely effective, and especially with this guy, he gets under his skin, man. I can't wait till he fucking sees one of your tweets one day and decides to tangle with you. If it hasn't happened already, has that happened yet?
His son came after me.
His son did? Which
Donnie
one?
Jr., yeah. Donnie Jr. came after me.
He's a fucking moron. They're all morons.
They're all morons. But mostly what they are they're bankrupt.
Yeah, they're bad people. They're bad people.
They're bankrupt.
Let me ask you this, because we're running, Instagram kicks you off after an hour. You bring a lot of inspiration. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I saw JDX. I saw Christina Kim, who's just recovering from the COVID. I saw a lot of other folks that are in my community that come over from Angry Americans. Thank you to everybody in the Righteous Media community, the IAVA community, all the 9/11 folks, and thanks to all.
Hey, you see my shirt, bro?
I love that shit. Yo,
you gave me that shirt.
AngryAmericans.us. We have great gear, American made, by veterans. Ron's rocking it, super comfortable, right? All right, but let me ask you a couple quick fire things, right? We're talking about America. I think there's still hope thanks to people like you. I'm going to give you a couple quick fire questions, all right? Are you down for this?
Sure.
All right. What's your favorite state in America?
My favorite state?
Yeah.
I would have to say, well, it's a tie because I live in both California and New York, and I love both those states.
There's no third-party option here. You got to pick, man. Which one?
I'm loyal to New York State, bro. It's my home state. It's my home state.
Okay. Favorite American beer?
I'm not a beer drinker, but
if you had to.
If I had to drink an American beer, I used to drink a lot of Rolling Rock.
There you go, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. It's one of the only beers. It's one of the only beers they still serve in the White House that's American made because foreign companies bought Budweiser, bought Miller Coors. When you go to the White House, they still serve Rolling Rock. At least they did. I haven't been there since this guy got elected, but before this guy got elected.
You don't want to go.
When you were growing up, what was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah. It may have been in black and white, but still, they had cartoons back then, right?
Yeah, they had cartoons back then. My favorite cartoons.
Just pick one.
Why can I not answer this?
I don't know.
I had a lot of Saturday morning, like Sky King. Remember that?
No, but I will Google it after this. All right, we'll come back to that one. Favorite sports team of all time?
New York Yankees.
Do you have a favorite Yankees team of all the Yankees teams?
Well, I was born in 1950, and so my old man, we were able to walk to Yankee Stadium because we lived in Washington Heights, and he started walking me to Yankee Stadium when I was 2. So I got to watch all of the Mickey Mantle years, and that was like one World Series after another.
Yeah. Was Mickey Mantle your favorite Yankee?
Of all time, my favorite.
What do you think of the Yankees now? How do you
I have given up organized sports, Paul. I'm not proud to say that. And
do you participate in disorganized sports?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is that?
List upon request.
Like kill the carrier in the parking lot, or like whatever they used to do, right?
Yeah, there's some really, really good indoor shit that I'm.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. When
the New York Yankees summarily fired Joe Torre, I walked away from baseball.
Terrible.
I walked away, and I've never come back.
Terrible. All right. If I picked up your phone right now, and whatever listening device you listen, and I played the song that you listened to last, what would it be?
Well, the wee small hours of the morning. I mean, we talked about this last week.
Yeah. What'd you listen to today? Did you listen to anything today?
Wee small hours of the morning. I worked out to the wee small hours of the morning. I know that's not really like the kind of shit that gets your blood going.
No, I like it.
It calms me down. It makes me focus, and it makes me see the most beautiful sounds that can ever be created. What do you
watch for news? Who do you like? Or what shows do you like?
the only news I watch is MSNBC, and my favorite.
I won't hold that against you.
Yeah. Well, I discovered you on Rachel Maddow, so I mean.
Gotta love Rachel. Gotta love Rachel.
She's phenomenal.
She's fucking genius. She's fucking brilliant. She really is. And people should know she's also one of the most authentically nice human beings on the planet. Like,
I mean, you can tell. She's
a wonderful human being. She's so generous in a lot of ways that are way below the radar to charities and people. My kids know her and love her. Like, she is an awesome human being and so kind and respectful to people. And I've been on almost every TV show and the news place, and you find out who people are when the cameras are off. And some people are assholes, and some people are fantastic. And she is not just brilliant and successful; she's also a good person. And people,
she did the podcast, right?
She did, yeah. We had a fun podcast. She talks a lot about fishing. And here's the other thing: Rachel Maddow knows a lot about a lot. I don't know a single human being who knows more about liquor and about spirits than Rachel Maddow. If she ever did a show,
she used to like do a little mixology thing on her show.
People don't know this. She used to bartend for maybe 8 years ago. She used to be the bartender at the MSNBC after party at the White House press corps dinner. And there was this moment where I watched her serve a drink to Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin walked up to the bar and was like, didn't get it. She kind of never got it, right? But she didn't get that Rachel was like legitimate. And Rachel takes shit seriously. If she's going to serve drink, she's fucking seriously serving drinks. She's not fucking around. She's not chit-chatting. And Sarah Palin walked up to the bar, and there was this moment where Rachel is making a drink for Sarah Palin. But she would do that every year for years and years and years. And then she stepped away from it. She stopped going because she felt like it would corrupt her independence to be hanging out with all these people drinking and boozing. And she actually, she gave me her ticket like twice because I went to try to raise money for IAVA. I was like, fuck. Every rich person in the world is there. I'm going to go and try to raise some money for veterans. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the White House press corps dinner, Ron?
No, but I watched every single one when Obama was president because Obama, aside from, how much I admire about his humanity and his leadership and all that, he was the funniest motherfucker who ever. His timing. I mean, you're a professional. His timing, his rhetoric, his oratory. Like, he's just a master. Like, so good. Yeah, he's a consummate comedian. So his White House press club, whatever they're called, dude. The tequila's kicking in. I can't put together a sentence right now.
I gotta let you go. We're gonna come up on the end of the hour, folks who don't know Ron. Watch everything he's ever been in. Go back and check out Angry Americans, angryamericans.us. You can listen to my extended interview with Ron while he's driving in a car back when that was allowed in Los Angeles. It's fucking fire. I asked you what your first car was. I asked what makes you angry. I asked what makes you happy. You pick a color of Peeps. People need to know. It was episode 3. Before you were the first like legitimate known person to come on my show. Willie Geist came on, but he owes me. I'll tell you about that another time. But you came on episode 3. It's been all fucking bonkers since then. So I'm grateful for that. Anything else you want to leave?
No, brother. I look forward to the Willie Geist story when we hook up again. And God bless you, Paul. Thank you for doing what you do. Thanks for having me. I send a big hug and a kiss to anybody who's still my fan. I don't know how you could possibly hang in there with somebody with as big a mouth as I have, but God bless you. You're very special people. Thank you, Paul.
Well, we are lucky to know you. I'm going to play you out. Okay? I'm going to play you out with a song. And I don't know if you know the song. You ever heard of Trombone Shorty?
Yeah.
There's a song called Fire and Brimstone.
Nice.
I think that's going to be the song I play you out with this time.
I'm downloading this as soon as I get off the thing.
Thank you for joining us, my friend. Stay frosty.
Big hug. You too, brother.
Everybody else, stick around for a minute. We're going to close out. My thanks to Ron Perlman, the great and powerful Ron Perlman, joining us from an undisclosed location in California near a golf course with lots of tequila.
Always.
and really
How do I
weird
get out of
lighting.
here?
It looks like God is looking over you. You're a movie star, man. You got lighting that's like making you look like an angel.
How do I get out of here?
I don't know. try hitting the button up in the corner.
Okay, yeah, I've been thrown out of better fucking places than this.
I can get you out. Ready? There you go. All right, and Ron is gone, ladies and gentlemen. To those of you sticking around, Ron Perlman fans, I'm Paul Rieckhoff. Welcome to Righteous Late Night. We do this a couple nights a week. You can check out my podcast, AngryAmericans.us, and you can listen to the extended interview, episode 3 with Ron Perlman. It's fantastic. He's a great guy, great American, great patriot, super cool. And send him some love, man. Ron does a lot of good work for a lot of people, and I think he's been bringing a lot of inspiration to people around the country and around the globe. I'll have him back again in the future when we do Righteous Late Night. We've been talking about the book of the night. If you're just joining us, if you're new here, Harry and the lady next door. We are drinking Citizen Cider, and we were giving a big shout out to the Ray Pfeiffer Foundation, to Team Rubicon. I want to give a shout out to Brooklyn for Life, to IAVA, New York City Veterans Alliance, and a lot of other great charities doing good work. I want to encourage you to check out my new show coming up on Thursday. If you're new here, we have independent news, culture, politics. We break down the latest news and have important, inspiring guests. Last week, I talked to Baratunde Thurston about how to be black in the pandemic. He wrote a best-selling book called How to Be Black. Check it out. And until then, I just want to thank everybody for joining us every time here on Righteous Media. I'm going to take 2 or 3 more questions on the bottom, and then we will sign out, and Zuckerberg will get his clicks. But go to AngryAmericans.us for any more information about what I'm doing, about the charities we're talking about. And we thank you for this. What's the name of the car? We're taking names on the car. Somebody has said Brimstone, and people have been saying Agent Orange, Orange Crush. Someone said Ida. We're still trying to name the car. So give me your names on the car. Let me know what you think. Keep sharing. It's a 69 Camaro SS. That's what it is. 69 Camaro SS, 354 on the floor. It's a convertible. It's sweet. It's got a big dent on the other side, but I'll show you that another time. And with that, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank my wife and my kids for putting up with this, my neighbors for not calling the cops. I want to thank everybody in New York, especially for holding it down, but to all our first responders all around the country and all around the world, you have our thanks, you have our gratitude. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you can stay home as best you can. I hope you can stay vigilant. And as always, as we say around here, stay frosty. AngryAmericans.us. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Stay tuned. Stay informed. And most of all, stay frosty. I'm going to play you out. A little Johnny Cash.
The noise of thunder.
Stay frosty, people.
One of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse. There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. The hairs on your arm will stand up at the terror in each sip and in each sup. Will you partake of that last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's ground?